1, 2, 3.
I've tried many different brownie recipes, and this one is definitely the easiest and my favorite. Start by adding melted butter and sugar into a bowl and whisk until it's all combined. Then add in your eggs, egg yolk, vanilla, and whisk until there's no more lumps. Add in your choice of oil, cocoa powder, and switch to a spatula to stir it more gently. Then add in your flour, cornstarch, baking soda, and salt. Stir it gently with the spatula, and just before it's all combined, add in the chocolate chips. Preheat your oven to 325 degrees and grease an 8x8 pan. I add parchment paper just to make it easier, and pour in your batter. I baked mine for 40 minutes and let it cool before I cut into it. I'll have the recipe in the caption.
Sunday kind of love, a love to last past Saturday night, and I'd like to know it's more than love at first sight, and I want a Sunday kind of love. On the square, can't seem to find somebody, someone to care, and I'm on a lonely road. I'm feeling lonely, oh, I wish I found a lover that could hold me. Now I'm crying in my room, so scared they come us, but still I want it more. I gave a second chance to Cupid, but now that you're feeling stupid, oh, the way it makes me feel.
Whenever my sisters come into town, they always request these cookies. I got the original recipe from Avery Cooks, and I will link that in the comments. It's just butter, cream cheese, brown sugar, white sugar, mix that up until it's all creamed together. Add in an egg and some vanilla, mix that together. Flour, baking soda, cornstarch, a little bit of salt, and then mix that all together and then fold in some chocolate chips. The only change I make to this recipe is I use an ice cream scoop. In half the recipe, it makes about 6 really big cookies. My sister jokingly calls them hockey pucks because I flatten them a little into discs and then chill for 30 minutes. Bake at 375 for about 13 to 14 minutes. They come out crispy on the outside but still gooey in the center, and they are amazing.
Strawberry cream cheese cookies.
Day in my life as a private chef. Just kidding, I wish. But I am in charge of sweets for a bridal shower we're hosting. So started with chocolate covered strawberries, and then I made some cookie dough and let that chill in the fridge. Then I made blueberry and chocolate chip muffins and baked both of those. And then once they were done, I made cinnamon roll dough, let that rest, and began decorating the strawberries. Super extra, but I love them. And then I rolled out the dough and made them into cinnamon rolls, let that rest overnight, and then I baked the cookies, and here's how everything came out. Let me know if you want individual recipes for anything specific.
I've rejected affection for years and years. Now I have it, and damn it, it's kind of weird. He tells me I'm pretty, don't know how to respond. I tell him that he's pretty too. Can I say that? Don't have a clue. With every passing moment, I surprise myself.
A scrumptious, fancy-looking dessert that looks like you spent hours baking it, but really just took a few ingredients and a few simple steps to make. Start with some pre-made sugar cookie dough. You can certainly make it from scratch, but I'm going for simple here. And using a muffin pan, you want to stick your thumb in to create this cup shape, kind of like pottery class, and it doesn't have to be perfect because the cookies will come out soft, so you can kind of remold it after they bake as well. Then add a scoop of filling, which is just a cream cheese frosting Greek yogurt mixture. It is so good. Let me know if you want the full recipe for it. Top it with fresh fruit and you've got a cute fruit tart.
Desserts that look super complicated to make but are really easy are probably my favorite types of desserts, and this one ticks all the boxes because all I did was I made a cookie base and then I put layers and layers and layers of jelly and cream. That's it. So I'd grab the jelly box, right, and then I'd half the quantity of the water, and then I'd dissolve it in the jelly crystals, and then I'd add a little bit of cream at a time, mix it, and then I'd pour it into the layer and then put it in the freezer for about 15-20 minutes. That's all it took, and then I would just keep layering it, and it's so pretty. And it looks so complicated because of all the layers, but it's so easy, and it's delicious because it's jelly.
What is the spell, baby? Please show some mercy. Melting like an ice cream when you smile.
Here's how I make my Nutella stuffed cake pops. Start by squishing your cake. Oh yeah. Now we're gonna open up our cream cheese and we're gonna squish that too. Squish it into your mud cake. This is a great arm workout, and this is what it should look like. Don't forget to treat yourself. Now we're gonna roll. Now for the best part, we're gonna grab a giant syringe and fill it somehow with Nutella. Okay, I did it. How good does that look? We're gonna squeeze our Nutella in there. Now I need two hands, so I'll show you when I get that. Like this. And don't be stingy on the Nutella, fill it right up. I added a bit more Nutella with the back of the spoon because the syringe was a bit tricky. Now we're gonna melt our chocolate. I got the Coles Belgian milk. Now we're gonna coat the balls in melted chocolate. So just dip them in. I do it with 2 forks. I've topped them off with Kinder chocolate. Now that they look like perfection, pop them in the fridge. Here they are, all finished. How good do they look? Here it is. Okay, let's try one together. Oh my god, they taste just as good as they look. They're amazing.
To celebrate 700,000 followers, I'm doing a macaron tutorial. I've been making this recipe for years, and it definitely guarantees a stable yet light and airy macaron shell. Macarons aren't quite the crisis of a cookie people deem them to be, and they're actually fairly simple. You just need the right recipe and instructions. So for step 1, all you're going to do is blend up your powdered sugar and almond flour in a food processor to eliminate any chunks that you may have. I usually do this twice, but that's not necessary. Step 2, wipe down your mixing bowl and saucepan with lemon juice to eliminate fat residue. Step 3, take 1 portion of your egg white and add it to your dry ingredients to form a paste. This is also the stage where you want to add your food coloring. Step 4, add your other portion of egg white to your mixing bowl. Step 5, you're going to add your sugar and water to a saucepan and put it over medium-low heat. If you have a food thermometer, you can wait till it gets to 244 degrees, or you can do what I do and do the raindrop method. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to get a glass of cold water and continuously add your syrup into it. And once it gets to a stringy consistency, you're going to start beating your egg whites on high speed. And while your egg whites are beating, you're going to continue to add your syrup into the cold water until it is able to hold its shape, kind of like this. And now for step 6, you're going to slowly add your syrup down the side of your mixing bowl. You're going to let this whip up for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then you can add whatever flavoring you want. And at this point, it should be a soft peak. And now for step 7, you're going to slowly start adding your meringue into your paste. The whole point about mixing this is to try to get the air bubbles out. So what I usually do is I fold the batter and then I spread it out kind of like this. And you're going to continue doing this until you're able to form a figure 8. Also, what I love about this method is that it's very difficult to overmix your batter. And now for step 8, you're going to add your macaron batter into a piping bag and pipe them out onto a parchment paper lined tray. For step 9, you're going to tap your tray on your counter to eliminate all the air bubbles. And if you see in this next clip, I usually turn my tray to just make sure I have all the air pockets out. And if you're like me and you don't have tons of trays to use, just slide the parchment paper right off and continue piping. And for step 10, you're just going to let your macarons sit on the tray for about 45 minutes until the tops are dry, and then you're going to add them to your oven at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 17 minutes. And for step 11, I usually puncture my macaron shells to make sure that the filling doesn't seep out the side. And lastly, all you have to do is add your filling, smush the shells together, and you are done.
Have to get this off my chest, I'm telling you.